Right, folks, welcome back to Brew Time. This week we've got Liz and Tina, the Fairy Bikers. How you doing, ladies?
I'm good, thank you.
Absolutely amazing, thank you.
Excellent. We got to come clean, folks. We tried this yesterday and the internet let us down, so we've gone for it again tonight, and it, touch wood, seems to be doing okay.
Lots of wood, yeah.
So we'll run through, obviously we had a chat yesterday, ladies, but let's just run through it all again and start from the beginning, really. Who are you and what's the Fairy Bikers all about?
Well...
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say this right at the start. Do you have a tipple of choice at hand?
I've only got water because I'm driving, unfortunately.
And I've got coffee because I really like coffee.
I have a beer. It's Friday after all. So, cheers to your health.
Yeah.
I've got
cheers.
I've got to drive home.
Cheers.
Unfortunately, can't have my beer tonight.
No problems, no worries.
Yeah, I'll probably get home.
What's the story?
Yeah, well, we decided we'd just call ourselves the Fairy Bikers because we thought we needed a name. I don't really know why that happened, but for some reason we decided we need to have a name, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think to be fair, I think it were you that come up with that name. I'm absolutely convinced because I don't know. You're right into stuff like that though, like fairies and stuff like that. You'd like stuff like that, don't you? I don't know. I've no idea. All I can think about is Liz picked that name because
it's quite a long time ago now since we picked that name.
It is a long time ago, to be fair.
10, 11 years ago since we did that.
Is it 10 or 11 years we've been together as the Fairy Bikers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
When was it you did, we'll get to it eventually, but when was it you did the trip?
2015.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that's a while ago. It's almost 10 years ago now, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't do the book till a few years later. Well, a couple of years ago, really.
Yeah, we finished it 2 years ago.
So what took you on the path then to do this trip? And then we'll cover the trip itself.
Okay. Well, we did a couple of trips to the TT, which everything kind of went wrong, really. So it seems to be everywhere we go, we seem to have some sort of trail of disaster behind us. And we just thought it'd be quite funny to, I thought it'd be quite funny to put all that in when we did do the book. But it was just a bit of a bucket list, really, when we were talking about it. And I said, I really love to ride a Harley in America because that is the place you need to go to ride a Harley. Mm-hmm. And then she said, let's go. I'll come with you. So it kind of started from there, really. Midlife crisis, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a charity connection as well, wasn't there? Is that right?
There was, yeah. Not at first, there wasn't. Mm-hmm. Not when we first booked it. It was I think we booked it about 18 months, 2 years in advance. Yeah. And during that time is when Tina's mum got diagnosed with breast cancer. So that is why we decided we'd do that, because it was kind of a bit of therapy for her, and it just kind of helped, really. We felt like we were doing something. Mm-hmm. So that's when we started raising money for it as well, and decided to get sponsored for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I lost my dad to cancer as well, so it was all the cancer theme, really. And look, Tina's mum's fine anyway, so that's good.
She's in remission, isn't she?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant news.
So that was all good. So originally we did it for breast cancer now. No, not breast cancer now. Breakthrough breast cancer, it was called, yeah. And they closed down. I think they merged with breast cancer now. We approached them when we did the book because we wanted to donate a percentage of the sales money to the charity. But they weren't really particularly helpful, and they wanted us to guarantee minimum donations, which we couldn't do. No. So we didn't know how much.
Yeah. I know, it's quite odd that, because,
they're so big, I think, and they wanted a contract, and it was they wanted legal people involved, and it all got a bit out of hand, really. So,
and I don't get that when it's to do with,
what are we going to do? We want to give to something. So, we did a bit of research. We found the Pink Ribbon Foundation, which is a grant-making trust for people to help people with breast cancer. So I rang the lady up, Lisa, who runs it, and explained the situation to her, and she says, we'll have it, we'll have anything. If it's a fiver, we'll have it. We'll be grateful for anything. So I thought, right, that's great, we'll run with that then. Brilliant. So that's kind of what we do. Anything that we sell, we give some to them. And we've also got bits of merchandise as well that we do. If we have a stand somewhere, we have a stall somewhere, don't we? We do some book signing, we sell bits and pieces as well.
Yeah, that's what I did as well. Yeah, just as you make profit, you just skim off the top and give that percentage to the charities. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's actually a question I said to you yesterday that I put it out to my clan over on Patreon. And people have the opportunity to leave questions, and I had a quick scout through them yesterday actually, and there is somebody asking about charities and the efficacy of big charities, so that'll be interesting for us to cover, I think, with your experience you had with the big one, but we'll cover that later once we've had a little chat. So what got you into biking? What got you into doing your trips to the TT? And like, what's the story? Like, how long's biking been in your blood?
Well, since I was about 18, and I had a bike myself, but I didn't have it. I had it about a year, then it blew up. Something happened to it, it blew up. I couldn't afford another one, so then it was kind of put on hold until I had kids and they grew up, and then I thought, right, I'm going to do it now. They kind of thought it was a bit weird and I've gone a bit strange, but it was about 20 years ago now I passed my test, so I did that. And the best thing I ever did, actually. And then Tina was a bit behind me because she got you a bit later on, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I only passed my test in round about 20. I want to say 2010, 11,
12 or something like that.
So round about that. Only way I could properly tell you is by looking at me.
It's somewhere on that time.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
But first of all, it were kind of with me. It was somebody. This woman I used to knock around with first, and I won't say a name on on here, because you never know how people react to that. We kind of she but I used to go around with her, and that's when I were on my little 125.
Yeah.
But I did used to go around with Liz as well. And sometimes we'd go around, a few of us, wouldn't we? Yeah. But we did go to the TT, and that didn't pan out right well, did it? I mean,
yeah, it was 4 girls together. I think it was just too many, really.
Yeah.
I've got to say, in your book, I've read the book, your description of the TT, I listened to it and I thought, that's nothing like my experience when I've gone to the TT. There's been none of that when I went.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, it was there's times when
the second one was more interesting, wasn't it?
The second one was more interesting, but I'll tell you what, the first one, there were times when I could have got really violent, honestly. But the second one, that was really interesting. Yeah.
We did the Midnight Escape.
When we did the Midnight Escape, the
5 o'clock in the morning one. Yeah.
Say no more, folks. Just read the book.
Yeah.
So this trip then, the trip itself, what was it?
We booked this trip. We'd seen this trip booked with Eagle Riders. We thought, we've never been to America before. We've never even ridden Harleys or anything. We'll go with an organised trip the first time we do it and see what's what and everything. So we booked that with Eagle Riders. It was 9 days. And then we decided we'd book on like about a week before and about a week after, and make like 3 weeks, about 3 weeks of it we went. Yeah. So, and then it kind of just got out of hand where we booked extra thing, we booked this, we booked that, and everything else. So the Eagle Riders trip started in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we went to Harley shop in Vegas and we picked up bikes. We'd never ridden Harleys before, so that was, we just put, that's your bike sort of thing.
That's your bike, get on it and ride it,
which was quite, I was on a Fat Boy, which was quite tricky at first because there's a few different knobs and things everywhere that there wasn't on my bike. And you had a Sportster, didn't you?
I love that Sportster. It was amazing.
It was short. So it was in a bike to have, actually.
It's the only bike I could reach the floor with because I'm only like 5 foot and a fag paper. So like literally that's the only one. So I didn't have really an option. However, I've got to say, there was one part where we were coming down this hill and it was really bendy, but as I got to the bottom, it was straightened out, and I just took my hands off the steering wheel. And I wish somebody must have took a picture of that, because I stood up on my bike and I'd literally went down, stood up on, on the,
wow.
It was
like Valentino Rossi.
the balance of that bike was so amazing. You could have done tap dance on the seat and it would have just kept going. Honestly, it's so good.
Bikes, but
they were amazing. Bikes, yeah. I must admit.
Then we went from there. They took us through. We went through Death Valley, and
which was cold, by the way.
We were heading for Mammoth Lakes, which was going to be quite a long day, I think. Anyway, and then we couldn't go there. We got about 3/4 of the way there, and they stopped us on. They said, "Right, we can't go there because of the snow." So this is in May.
Yeah, in May.
So we had to
do eyebrows in it.
So we had to do a detour to a place called Bakersfield, which seemed to be even further. We didn't get there till like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So I don't really know how far it was, and I've not really looked at the map actually to see how far it was, but it just seemed like a really long day. Anyway, then from there, where did we go from there? We went towards San Francisco.
Yeah, we did. We were making us way to San Francisco.
Yeah.
We had to make sure that was en route because there's a particular thing that I wanted to go. I wanted to go and see the rock, you see. I'd gone all that way and there were no way I wasn't going to see that rock. And also we wanted to go over the Golden Gate. Bridge as well. Yeah. So
the rock, you mean Alcatraz? Is that what you mean?
Oh, yeah.
Got you.
So then we went over the Golden Gate Bridge. We had a couple of nights there. Then we went over the Golden Gate Bridge twice because it wasn't on our route. So we went over it and then we had to come back on it just to go over it. And then we went down the coast. We went Highway 101.
Somebody broke down. Somebody broke down.
Yeah, as well.
Somebody broke down.
Within the group?
Yeah.
Somebody broke down.
And we were waiting
a long time. Yeah, it happens. And then we went down the coast, Highway 101, went down there.
Wow.
Heading towards LA. Through Malibu.
Amazing. It was. It was amazing. But there were times, I remember, when we were coming out of Vegas and we'd gone through Death Valley and, it was raining.
We had to stop and put our waterproofs on.
Absolutely bounding down.
The wind.
And the wind, it was absolutely horrendous. But I was behind Liz and I just kept looking at her and I was wet through on outside. I was bawling inside. I was actually bawling with tears. And I'm going, when I get off this bike, I'm going to murder you. And I'm looking at poor Liz. She didn't have she didn't know what I was saying. She was in front of me and I'm going, I'm going to kill you. You know?
But it's like life on tour. You can't guarantee anything. It's like just like normal life, isn't it? Really, you never know what's around that next corner. You never know what's going to greet you when you open the curtains in the morning. You can't guarantee any of it. We've just had it on my tours where in July we're out taking a tour and it was freezing cold. It was I think it got down to like 9 degrees at one point. And then over in that was up in the north, so it was all around lakes, Northumberland, into a little bit of the borders. It was all up your neck of the woods. I know. I'd have brought 15 of us there.
It'd have been all right. I've got a big enough place.
Sorry to interrupt, folks, but just a quick shout out for this week's sponsors, who are, as always, Ultimate Add-ons. Ultimate Add-ons have been back in the podcast for the last few years, and I've been using their products since probably around about 2017, 2018. They specialise in phone holders, so both the mounts that attach to your bike and the protective cases that your phone goes in. Now, these cases are shockproof, they're dustproof, they're the perfect things to put your phone in whilst you're on the bike, and even if you do have a mishap, your phone is nicely protected inside that case. You can still use the phone, you can still use the touchscreen, you can even still use the cameras. They do a wide selection of mounts. I use the ratchet strap, which is actually in their cycle section, but you can pick any one you like for your particular bike or a generic one. It's up to you. Ultimate Add-ons are also doing a number of other accessories, things like action camera mounts. They're also now doing heated grips. They do things like a balaclava, USB, USB-C, power adapters, lots of different things. Head to their website, check out the products, and if you use the code TeapotOne with the number 10, TeapotOne10, then you will get 10% off. A massive thanks to Ultimate Add-ons for all your support. And a massive shout out to all of you over in the clan, over on Patreons, patreon.com/TeapotOne. I literally could not do this full time without your support, folks. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for going that extra mile with your support. You're also the backbone of the Brewtime podcast with all your questions. So keep them coming and we'll go from strength to strength. And then the month before, we were out in the Pyrenees. So we were, we were right up the top of some of the Tour de France routes. And again, the fog was so thick, you could hardly see your front wheel. It was like, we were telling all the lads, this is some of the most beautiful scenery you're going to see. It's fantastic roads.
And that
one day, the one day where we headed off up into these particular passes, the fog just came in and you couldn't see anything. It was raining. It was like, And then literally the next day was fine. But you're always moving, aren't you?
That when we went through Death Valley, for instance, it's the hottest place in the world, and like you could literally throw an egg down and a piece of bacon and have your dinner off the floor. That's how hot it is. We were dithered. We were nithered. 4 layers of clothing in Death Valley. And I said to, when he said, shall we move on? And me and I went, we were already up bike when he said that. With his helmets waiting.
Do you look back? Do you look back and feel like it was still an adventure? Are you glad that you did
definitely.
it?
Definitely. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I've had a few horrendous points on trips, and I've always said that to the people I'm with. I'm like, one day you'll look back on this and you'll laugh and you'll remember what an adventure it actually was. Not right now, but later on you will,
Yeah,
it was very tiring because obviously we weren't really used to being on the bikes all day, and then you didn't have a lot of time at night really, and then you have to be up early and be ready, and everybody ready to leave by 8 o'clock.
And that's where I come a bit of a cropper because
she can't.
You don't do schedules, do you?
No, I'm just not a timekeeper at all. If you say, oh, we're going to sit down to dinner at 8, expect me at past, because that, I'm just free and easy, and I just go with the flow.
But I was on a case all the time because we're the only 2 girls riding bikes. We cannot be the last ones sauntering out to the bikes. We just can't let the side down. So it was always the blokes that were last. We were never last.
We were
never last.
She were on me always on my case, and so she literally dragging me out of the room. Come on, get on that bike, we've got to be. And it was the men. Were that tall guy? I think you were maybe from
some from Italy and Sweden.
The Swedish guy. Yeah. He was always late.
Yeah, which is good for us.
So if you're listening, sort your timekeeping out. Liz, you must have just been filled with anxiety that entire trip.
Yeah, that's a bit. Yeah,
you're just cracking the whip constantly. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, even when we walked around San Francisco, I think we did something at 25,000 steps in one day.
Yeah.
She was just whinging the whole way around. She took her shoes off in the end. And
it's interesting. It's interesting listening to you say about how tiring you found it, because I see this. I have my own tour company, so I take people away on tours every month, and I see it all the time. It's pretty much always guys that come away, and a lot of them are like, no, I'm almost an everyday rider. I ride every week. I'm used to doing the miles, but it's different when you're on tour, isn't it? When you're doing it every single day, even 200 miles, 220 miles, that can take all day if you're on the twisty stuff. And in evenings you're having a dinner together and you're having a few beers, and the constant getting up every morning and out on the bikes. By day 3, day 4, people are knackered for sure.
It's having that time where you've got to be at your bikes by 8 o'clock, so you've got to be packed up, had your breakfast, ready to go. And whereas if you're doing it yourself, we'd probably go about 9 or something, a bit more relaxed. But it was
8 o'clock's a little bit antisocial, isn't it? We do 9 o'clock, and even then I'm like 9:30 maybe.
No, he was really strict when he was kind of strict. Yeah,
it's a bit of
and you stop for a break.
You stop for a break, and it was like,
Oh,
come on,
God,
come on, come on. And
Yeah,
like, everyone just sat down with something, you know.
Yeah.
It was constantly like that.
As we get off it, like you imagine we get off into a village, you know, out there, and there might only be maybe three places to eat, and the load of people, not just people who are actually there who are on holiday. But we get off at our bikes and we all pull in. So you can imagine these guys are cooking like mad to try and give us us food. By the time, I think one time we got us food and they were off.
We had to take it with us.
We had to take it with us, literally had to take it with us. And eat some as we were walking, eat towards the back and then throw it away and get on the bike.
Yeah. Well, they had 15 bikes. It was 15 bikes and they had a leader and they had a backup guy who went to the back he had a van, he put our cases in, and he had a spare bike on the back as well on a trailer. So there was quite a lot of people, and there's a few people who were doubled up on the bikes, weren't there? There was a few couples.
Yeah.
We were the only girls actually riding. There was a couple of other girls, but they were like on the back. So there was probably 20 people altogether to try and get served in somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you have like 20 minutes stop or something, and then it's like, come on, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
Going back to the TT now, I've just got to tell you this little story. Going back to the TT, we were obviously on bikes, me and Liz, and you know, we're getting on there, and it's slippy, and so we're being really careful because there's no way in a million years we want to drop our bikes because it'd have been awful for us.
Yeah,
this is on the ferry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've totally been as careful as possible. And some guy went and dropped his bike, didn't he? And, you know, they all went to help him. Now, if that had been me or her, it'd have been a case of, hey, whoa.
They'd have helped. Guarantee it. They'd have helped. They would have helped. They're a good bunch, bikers.
They would have done after rolling about laughing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they never did it with the bloke. Normally, like if I drop anything, God, it's just a chorus of "Way!" It's all you hear. Right. Let's crack on with some questions because I think there's about 11 or 12 questions for us to get through over on Patreon. So that could take a little bit of time. You all right if we crack on with them?
Yeah.
Right, lovely. So head over to the clan on Patreon, folks, which is patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, Mr. Giggles. Question for the floor. What were your biggest fears before you started? What should have been what was your biggest fears before you started, and what should have been your biggest worries? So, yeah. What were your concerns, and looking back, what do you think you should have been concerned about?
Well, I didn't actually have any concerns. I think we were so busy planning everything and organising everything that we didn't really stop and think about it. I think we were just excited, really.
Yeah.
You see, I'm from I'm from West Yorkshire, so like I was dragged up rather than brought up, you know, by my parents, as much as I love them to bits. But this is the thing, I'm sort of I can go somewhere and instantly know because I'm that streetwise. I might not be on time, but I'm really streetwise. So I've red flags going up all over. And like there was a time when we went down to San Diego, but this was after we put the bikes in, you know, and we went down to San Diego in the car. And I just saw we went in San Diego and I packed the car up and we went and I just went, I don't know. No, we've got to go. And she said, what do you mean? I said, there's something wrong here. It doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right to me. And we went to this pub, we had something to eat, didn't we? And she just agreed with me. She went, you're right.
Well, we did after that episode in the pub, which you've read about the two women.
Yeah.
And
you know, it
escaping
just
so we kind of legged it out of there, didn't we?
So, but yeah, I mean...
But I was a bit more like not really realising what was going on.
Yeah.
Whereas my red flags, I'm on it. Or I might not be like saying time, but one thing I am is I'm really good to have in a group, right, for red flags going up and reading all the signs. I read everything, all the signs, you know, and
the
I can
spidey
just
senses.
sense things. and his spidey senses are amazing. So I think
it's always good to listen to your gut feeling, isn't it?
That's what I've listened to all my life. I was brought up to listen. I had to listen to that to get me out of trouble. Somehow to get me out of it, because I'd wiggle my way in, but somehow I'd get myself out of it. And that was to do with the gut feeling, So
we didn't really have anything after that we thought we should have been worried about, really, was there? I think we just got this idea in our head and we were just going to go for it.
We're just going to go for it.
Just focus on it and get it done.
We didn't really, and it was like almost 2 years, that's all we talked about. It was like planning this, planning that, arranging this, where we're going to do, what we're going to see. And, it was just like constant, really. So we didn't really have to stop and think about worrying about it. Yeah. We're just excited about it.
How did you get on with luggage then for the organised tour? Because obviously you don't know what bike you're going to have. Do they let you know what?
You have to tell them what bike you want.
Okay.
In advance, and they try and give you the bike you want.
Yeah, we have to do.
So that's why we went to the Harley shop and sat on the few, because we didn't know what we wanted.
The guy when we went to the Harley shop at Leeds. Oh, you had the beads of sweat coming down his brow, because I'm boom straight through the door. Give me them bikes. You know what I mean? And I'm too little to sit on them. And so the beads, you could see the bead. I think he was petrified of the domino effect, weren't he?
Yeah.
Because there were that.
Yeah, I bet.
So we did. Yeah, so we did do that, so we could actually say to them, "This is the bike we want to ride." Even though we'd never ridden it, we'd only sat on it. They wouldn't let us out on them.
No,
but that was So what we actually took with us, we got 2 suitcases and a cabin case each. The large suitcase and a cabin. So we had 3 cases to take with us. So the cabin case, we had our helmets in.
Yes.
Because obviously we didn't want to put that in the luggage, so we could manage to get a change of clothes, basically, and our helmets in there and basic stuff. So we had 2 big cases each. So obviously we had to pack for whatever, sunny, rain. We thought being May, sunny California would be fantastic weather, but we still packed for very wrongly. But anyway, we packed for everything. We packed for rain, cold. So that's like a suitcase.
Covering all bases.
You've got your boots, you've got your gloves, everything like that. That is a suitcase full. And then another suitcase of your own clothes. So we took them on the flight, which was fine. We went flew with Virgin Atlantic, and that was fine. And then they did just put all your luggage in this van behind. So
that's what I forgot about the van.
Yeah. So we just had to pile it in the morning and take it out at night and everything. So we did go quite up. I don't think we were overpacked, actually, because we kind of used most things we took.
Do you know what?
For 3 weeks.
We used it.
And then a couple of pair of bike jeans, just 2 pairs of bike jeans and things like that. That takes up so much room, doesn't it?
It does, because kind of bike jeans are really thick.
Yeah.
Even when you fold them up, they're still thick because of all the knee and the
stuff like that. And then we did get given a jacket, didn't we, as well, with the riders on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we took our own helmets that we had all written with fairy bikers on it and everything.
And his name's on them.
Yeah. So we had those as well. Yeah.
The piss pot ones.
yeah, I know the ones.
We went and got 2 of them. And did you get the goggles? You did, didn't you?
Some goggles.
She got, I wasn't gonna go with goggles. No,
you did laugh at me for having goggles, but once we were coming out of Death Valley, it
I
was
wish
raining.
I got some goggles.
You said I wish I'd got some goggles.
So what, you were riding with no visor and no goggles?
No. Gee, well, I put my goggles on. Luckily, I'd bought some.
Were you wearing? I take it you were wearing your glasses then when you were riding.
Yeah,
sunglasses.
Oh yeah. So you got some sort of protection. Yeah. I was just thinking, blimey, if you take a fly to the eyeball when you're riding a bike.
Is that?
Yeah, definitely.
I think we had
a lot.
But I didn't have my goggles on. I had sunglasses on. Yeah, I didn't put my goggles on when it rained.
And we're also sponsored by the Influencer Store. Now I've got some blurb to read out for them. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand, big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea and a design, and there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at theinfluencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. Now, all my current merch over at TeapotOne.com, that is all handled by Roger and Charlotte and their family over at the Influencer Store. So thank you for all your support. And lastly, a big shout out to all of you who are either watching a podcast or listening just now on your platform of choice. If you can like, Share with your mates, tell people about the podcast and help spread the word. That really does help. And if you're listening on things like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, if you can follow and leave a review or rating, 5-star is preferable, of course, then that would be absolutely fandabidosi. All right, folks, let's get back to the podcast. Next one, Owen Harries. Hi all, hope you're all well. Here is my question for both. What else would you advise a fellow biker do when the inevitable 50-ish-year-old person has the midlife crisis? Doesn't have to be bike related.
Right, okay, not bike related, and you're going through a midlife crisis and you're 50+ year old. I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you what to do, shall I? Get yourself... and I am not kidding when I say this, get yourself an off-road car and go green laning, because I'll tell you what, in England, there is so much beauty in them off them green lanes, and you get to go where horses and tractors go. And I'll tell you what, it is absolutely so beautiful. I have seen, because I've been green lane, I've got my own little chimney, Susie chimney, and I'm not joking, I have seen some absolutely beautiful waterfalls which has been made by Mother Nature herself, and I'll tell you what, that is stunning. It's simply stunning. I didn't realise how beautiful England, Great Britain was until I started going out. Green laning is absolutely amazing.
That's not kind of for everybody, is it? Really?
But no, not for everybody.
You just kind of, if you want to do something, just don't let anything stop you. Do it. If you've got that plan, you've got that plan in your head, you'll find a way to do it. Just find a way to do it. Yeah, you've got to do it because you're a long time dead.
You are
100%.
And our motto is one life, live it.
There you go. Absolutely. People always say to me, it's all right for you, or you're really lucky to have done what you've done, and I'm no doubt people say things like that to you, but I kind of turn to people and just say, look, the only difference between like those who have and those who haven't is the ones that have never gave up. They just just set their sights on it and they make it happen. I mean, nobody's just given these wonderful trips. You've got to make it happen, haven't you? You've got to save. You've got to work to earn money. And you've got to sort out all your logistics and whatever is in your way to make it happen. You have to overcome it, sort it out.
Yeah, well, we did it. Obviously, in the book it tells you about all these car boot sales we did. Yeah, and lots of people that we know just gave us stuff that they didn't want. Probably just to save them to a charity shop, but it doesn't matter. We used it, and we were given stuff by people to sell once we run out of our things. So, but I mean, you can make like 100 quid. It might not sound a lot of money, but if you go in every Sunday for like the whole summer,
of course it does. Yeah,
I mean, we did it for 2 summers, I think, didn't we? And that paid for like our trip to the Alcatraz, our trip to the Grand Canyon. And that paid for all our trips that we did.
Yeah, it did.
And then before that, when we booked the flights,
and we still give them, obviously percentage of that. We give a percentage of that to the But
when we booked the flights, we booked them through Dialer Flight. They did it for us. They were fantastic, great. And they booked our hotel in Vegas and the hotel in Beverly Hills that we stayed at. They did all the bits outside of the tour for us. And so what we did, we obviously just paid the deposit. Then every month we just rang up and paid a bit more off. That's how we did that. So it's like anybody can do that, really.
If you're determined to do something, if you're determined to do something, you're gonna do it. You can't wait around until I'll just wait till next month. I'll just wait till next month never comes.
We sold all that stuff, didn't we? And this is what we did to do it, But there's a way to do it, isn't there? You just got to apply yourself to.
Yeah, if you've got to commit.
If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way to do it.
You have got to be committed.
Yeah, and like paying off our flights and hotels monthly. We just rang up and paid them. They were great. They said, "Yeah, you can do that, no problem."
That's right.
Not a problem.
I remember the last part of my trip. I just had to start, maxing out credit cards, and that's basically how I finished the trip. Was just whacking it all on a credit card, and then just you worry about it when you get home. Once you're home, back working, just start paying it off. Then, exactly. Owen also says, "Where can I buy the book?" You can get that on Amazon.
Waterstones.
Waterstones have got it as well.
Waterstones as well. Oh, it's in Waterstones as well, is it?
Oh, it's in Waterstones,
It's in the shop. It's in Waterstones, Northallerton and Darlington on the shelves.
There you go.
Yes, it's on there. And the ones in Darlington are absolutely, they are...
There's a couple of signed ones in there.
The signed ones as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of signed ones left in there. Amazon is slightly cheaper, I think, on Amazon, isn't it? Usually people use Amazon anyway, don't they?
You can actually, you can also download it on Kindle. Sometimes they have.
I've got it up now. Yeah.
Sometimes I've got it on. I downloaded it from Kindle. Sometimes you can get it free as well from Kindle. And I know what you're thinking, oh, how do you? But we still get that money. We still get the money that it is on the back of the
subscription.
book.
Yeah.
We still get
people.
that.
People pay subscription on Kindle and get so many books. Yeah, I use Kobo, but it's not available on Kobo at the moment.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what is, you can actually download an app onto your Kindle or mobile phone. If you want to, like some people like to listen to a story. They don't want to read it, so they'll listen to it on the way to work or whatever. So you can actually download an app, which is free. And you just say, I think it's something called, can't remember quite what it's called, but Read My Book. You download that and it will read your book, whatever you put in.
Really?
So it'll read it to you, yeah.
No, we haven't got it on audiobook. It's
not on audiobook, but
it reads for you, doesn't it?
It reads it for you.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, nice one. Now you know then. Right, Owen. Cheers for your question, pal. Next one, Rebecca Christie. How you doing, Rebecca?
Hi, Rebecca.
Epic thing to do, ladies, and another book to read. Question to Lisa and Tina: What was the one item you were very glad to have packed, and then what was the thing you wish you had packed?
Are we going to keep this clean? I'm joking. Sorry.
Oh, brilliant.
I was very glad I packed my goggles.
No, I like Tina's answer. Come on, Tina, tell us.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think? I
don't think we missed anything because I did. Yes, I did. I did a packing list.
You're very
Been
thorough.
a little bit organised.
You're very thorough.
I did a little bit organised. I did a proper packing list on everything we need to take. I gave her the copy of the list and actually came down and supervised her to pack to make sure she didn't miss anything out. So we actually didn't. I don't think we actually forgot anything.
Wow.
Because we were that. Because it was that organised.
Yeah, it sounds it. Rebecca says,
so go on. I don't know who it could have been that were organising this.
I think we know.
We had so long to think about it. Yeah. I just kept adding things to the list as I thought of things and things like that.
Yeah.
The goggles was, I think, the one that I'm really glad I took. It's a little thing.
Rebecca says, question to all. Which is the ugliest, the new 1300 GS Adventure or Harley Pan America 1250? Personally, I think the new GSA looks like the GS and the Pan America had a love child. I'm going to put my head above the parapet. I like the new GSA.
I haven't seen it, but I do like the Harley. So I haven't seen that one, no. But the Harley's nice. So,
have you seen?
I like Harley. I do.
Have you seen the new standard GS, the new 1300 GS? It's got the X headlight at the front. Have you seen that?
I have seen that one. No, I have seen that one.
Right. Well, the adventure version, which has just been launched, is like that has been at the gym for 20 odd years on steroids and is now getting a little bit of a middle-aged spread to it. It's like a 60-year-old bodybuilder that's hanging in there. It's chunky. It's real chunky.
Yeah.
I hated it when I first saw it, but each day that I've seen pictures, I've kind of gone, I think this is growing on me. I wouldn't buy
Yeah.
one. I'm going to ride one first, but
Yeah.
I've got the standard GS. I like that. But I quite like the look of it. Got to say, I quite like the look of it.
Well, maybe a treat's coming up your way. When's your birthday next?
I've only just bought the standard GS.
Right,
I won't be buying another bike for quite a while.
Yeah.
Cheers for that, Rebecca. Next one, Patrick Collum. Evening, ladies. That includes you, Bruce. Cheers, Patrick. Thank you.
Hey, but
Sounds like a fabulous adventure. After the ride, what would be the next adventure you'd like to try in order to raise money? And as a supplementary question, do you guys feel that there's become a stigma around charities with recent reveals of CEO of charity salaries? Or do you still feel people are giving and good? Right, this was the one that I was talking about earlier. So first off, what's next for you? Have you got another adventure in mind?
right.
Well, we haven't yet, but there's loads. There's just loads of potential out there. There's loads of. I'd like to do places like, I don't know, maybe South America, or do just like somewhere different.
I'm good to go.
Just something like that would be really great.
Do you know what the thing is? This is the thing. You want to go. Liz has got. She wants to go. She wants to go to Texas.
Oh yeah, I want to do that as well.
Don't you?
I want to go a lot of places.
Houston. Well, I'd like to go there as well. So I'm good to go. Whenever she's ready, boom, I'm ready.
I've got loads of places I'd like to go. I'd love to ride around Japan as well. That would be amazing.
Oh, Japan's stunning. Just stunning.
I'd love to go there. Yeah.
Well, you can go. You can
There's just so many things I want to do.
So what's holding you back then?
Well, I seem to have had a lot. I had 4 holidays last year.
Yeah.
I've had
She's got a boyfriend.
two this year. Well, no, I go with my other friend. I went to India last year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They didn't do bikes though.
No, she's not a biker.
She's not a biker.
And this year I've been to Thailand for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to the Alman TT. And then next month I'm going doing a Europe trip, a couple of 1,000 miles down to northern Italy and Austria. So
is that on the bike?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this year that's taken up with that holiday. Then I had 4 holidays last year. Did Ireland as well last year on the bikes.
Awesome.
Yeah, Ireland was amazing.
See, I wouldn't mind doing Ireland myself.
It's gorgeous. Ireland.
Yeah, I'm going next year.
Yeah, maybe me and you should go next year.
Yeah, it's the first time I've been. It's last year, but it was. I'd love to go back. It was beautiful. On the West Coast.
I'd be good to go. That'd be a nice place to go. I think Ireland's
stunning.
Yeah,
I've heard it is amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe me and you should.
And the drive on the left-hand side of the road, and they speak English, which
that's
helpful.
good. Yeah, it's always helpful. But I'll leave you to do all. Starting now, and I'll just come along when.
Just tell Tina where to be when you leave. She'll be there.
I just think it'd be quite interesting to let her organise it. Actually.
Oh God, no, don't.
No, that's a book I'll read definitely. Yeah.
we'll be sleeping in Edge Bottoms.
So when you talk about doing South America and Japan and these places, would that just be you organising it and off you go, or would you look to do like an organised tour type thing again?
I'd organise it myself.
Do you know what this time? No, it would be.
We've done that.
We've done that. We know what we're doing now. And I'm confident. I'm confident enough to make sure.
It's time really to fit in all these the places I want to go now. So I'm trying to. I think this midlife crisis thing's got a bit out of hand really. And I'm kind of going to all these places now, and now looking at planning what I'm going to do next year. So I kind of
wrong with that.
It's time. I haven't got enough time, really, because I've got to work as well. I've got to work to pay for it. So I'm trying to get like 3 or 4 holidays in a year. And then, that's the tricky thing. Can't go too close together because I need to do some work in between.
Got to sacrifice some of the holidays.
Although she has got a lot better job than me, I just work for the NHS. This one's got an accountancy business, so.
Oh, wow.
Luckily for me, I have got a very generous husband.
Is that Darren?
Yeah.
You hear a lot about Darren in the book.
Yeah,
folks.
he's a good one. He's a good egg. He's a good egg. He does. Yeah.
Has he stopped sweating yet? Because you had control of the credit card.
Oh, only just. It's took him a few years to get over that. I'll tell you. I'm not allowed it anymore.
Patrick raises an interesting point here about charities. So basically what he's saying is that like the CEO of charities and their salaries, it's been revealed that some of the big well-known charities out there, the sort of CEOs and higher staff members, they're getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds working in a charity.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So obviously that, I think initially that is a little bit off-putting.
It's off-putting. I know what you.
That's why we're glad we didn't go with the breast cancer now one. So the one that we have gone with, Pink Ribbon Foundation.
These guys are brilliant.
They do not have offices. They work from home.
They do.
Yeah.
So they don't have the big offices, the big salaries, and there's only a handful of people that actually work for it. And they're actually just so involved in it. And what they do is they obviously raise money and do a lot of different things to raise money. And they issue grants out, such as you've got somebody from Macmillan Nurses. Somebody needs a Macmillan nurse for a breast cancer patient. They'll fund that. And that's what they do, is they give out grants for it. So they don't have offices. And that's one thing that really appealed to us about
that. Right, yeah, it is absolutely.
So it goes straight to that charity.
They don't have the big corner, in the sky sort of office with a big oak table. None of that. They have they work out of their own homes with their phones, and that for me, it was brilliant.
That was a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer. Yeah. That's why we
definitely
went with them. Yeah.
I can understand why charities sometimes have a lot of staff, a lot of people working there. Because, if you look at a big international charity, then the logistics of dealing with that on every angle, like the accountancy side of things, the marketing side of things, a lot of the times these charities say, well, we have to pay big wages because we want to attract the best. Because if you get the best marketers and PR agents, then that spreads the net so much wider so you can attract more donations. I kind of understand that, but a couple of $100,000 a year when you're working in a charity. And as you said, some of them have these illustrious, beautiful premises, don't they? And you just think, how much is being paid for that?
But
it's wrong.
They will have a lot of compliance work to do as well. There'll be a lot of compliance because they're registered charities, so there will be.
Yeah.
And I see it in my job. I have a lot of compliance work to do that I don't get paid for, that I have to do. And they will have the same thing, being registered charities. So, but I haven't justify that sort of wage. I might
it's the optics, isn't
really. If I got a job there,
the optics of it.
More holidays.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, you know what? And this is what amazing. I used to volunteer. I'm not going to say the the charity, but I used to volunteer out of this shop, and they got the shop for like half price to rent, or something like that. And the manager was on like 30 grand a year, and the assistant manager was on 25 grand a year. So now where's that? We're up to 55 grand.
Yes. I mean, that's not, and it's a little shop.
It's only a little shop.
Probably the size of your bathroom or something. Yeah.
And the thing is, this is the thing, we, the staff were all volunteers, and all the stuff that came in were people that were donating their clothes and their
free,
shoes. Everything's free. And this is the thing. This is why I had to leave, because I was so annoyed, and the way it just beggars belief. It really does, and it saddened me. It saddened me to know that they were just reaping the benefit, and they were having people doing their work downstairs for free.
Yeah, you think they've got to pay the wages, so the first 55 at least.
55 grand. That's not including the electric, the gas.
Of takings that are taken here has to just pay wages.
It doesn't seem to add up, does it?
No, it's wrong. It's wrong.
Big offices.
It's morally wrong.
Most of the donations, if you're looking at a big office, it's going to go towards running the big office.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how they even get any of the money to go to actually the charities, because they spend so much on theirs. On them. Yeah.
My wife volunteers for a local charity. Well, it's up in Watford, actually, is where she used to live. And they're all volunteers there, and nobody takes a salary from that. And it's a local thing for like local homeless, and it's like a Christian charity that's up there, so it's for the local church, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
She sees how much this charity brings in. I mean, it's an insane amount of money it generates just purely from donations from people. So you imagine what a big charity's generated, you know, what sort of turnover they're looking at. It must be huge on some of these big ones.
Crazy.
But anyway, let's not get into the politics of that.
Oh yeah, we stay away from that.
Next one, Danny Wilson. How you doing, Danny? My missus is terrified of motorcycling. It's nothing to do with me. What inspired you to initially get in the saddle, and what advice would you give to other ladies looking to get into motorcycling, or even just taking the leap into tagging along as a pillion with their partners?
I think if you can get them onto the pillion first, if you can find a really nice, safe rider, slowish, if somebody rides slowish and just build it up, really. I think you get on as pillion, you kind of get to once they feel like they can trust the person that's riding, I think they'll just get their confidence up, and then that eventually they could go for the CBT, really, because that's only like a day, isn't it? And go for that, because that builds it up slowly, doesn't it? And there's no pass or fail or anything, so there's no pressure.
No, there's no pressure. The thing is, though, you've got to be able, you know, you've got to want to do it.
Yeah.
For instance, I work at the NHS, and they always say, "Oh, here she is! Look, here she comes, the donor." You know, because nurses see me as a walking donor, and like you know, end of day, it's just a big laugh with us, you know, but you know, you've got to really want to do it, and like my husband, I were pillion on back of him for a little while, and then I just said, look, I want to ride my own bike, and he went, let's get you booked in then for your CBT, and he went and bought me a 125, and off I went, and you know, I went and did my CBT.
That would be confidence built up by being on the back of him.
Yes, it was.
So that's built that up, and then you get to the point where you think, that's it, I want to do it myself.
He's such a good rider, though. He's really good. I mean, nodding off comes to mind. Honestly, it's absolutely so chilled is my husband. He's a great rider. So I suppose, and apparently he said he hates being behind me when I'm on my bike because I don't touch my brakes that often. I read the road and I slow down just like I do in my car. I don't touch my brakes for some reason.
Don't want to buy new brake pads. That's what that is. No.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably worried about the bill.
Yeah. He'd probably be hiding the credit card.
Yeah.
Right, I think we've answered Danny's question. Yeah, we have. We've answered Danny's question. Cheers to that, Danny. Next one's Andy. Evening all, just a couple of questions from me. Fairy bikers, what one thing would you like to see current bikers do to encourage more women taking up and being part of the biker community?
Do you know what? I think
including them a bit more, really, because they tend to be like kind of gangs of guys going out. And I think as well in the shops as well, there's not a lot of women's gear still. So you're a bit limited.
That's true.
When you go in the shop, the bike shops.
Yeah, that's
You've
true.
got like women's section is a little corner.
Yeah,
so,
that's quite true. It's very men oriented.
It is men oriented,
at the moment. But I mean, do you know
still,
what? Yeah.
It feels the total opposite down here. It feels like you go into bike shops and they're all promoting women's kit.
Now,
and at all events, they're promoting women.
Are you down Wales or something?
I'm in the southeast. I'm in Kent.
Oh, in Kent, right? Okay. Well, we've got what they call a bike shop down there in Kent.
Well, that we went to.
Yeah.
Oakley's in Maidstone.
We went to. We've got.
You know Oakley's in Maidstone?
Oakley's in Maidstone.
No, I don't know Oakley's. No, J&S I've used.
No, it wasn't J&S. It was...
Go to Oakley's. They're amazing. We've been there a couple of times now, haven't we?
We did some book signing down there when they had an event. And they have got ladies' gear in there.
They have.
They're geared up towards ladies.
Most of them have now. Yeah.
They've done really well. Yeah.
I went to a bike shop this morning. Shop this morning, and I was looking for some women's gear just while I was waiting for my bike to be serviced, and it had. I would say maybe a dozen pair of jeans or something. That was about it. Yeah.
And, well, I'll give him a plug here. My mate Sam, he's got Conqueror's Motorcycle Apparel based down in Hastings. Well, they're a big stockist of Moto Girl and loads of other stuff. Like half the shop is kit for women, for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of them are starting to stock Motor Girl stuff. But if you go into such as in Leeds, there's J&S and there's sports bike shop next door to each other in Leeds. And you go into J&S and there's ladies section. You've got to kind of go right to the back of the shop.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a little area.
It's
ladies section there. Yeah, it's
a massive it's a massive room.
Massive.
You know,
it's like two big shops together, but it's a little end bit that's just got ladies' gear in it. And
so then
sports bike shop's got a couple of rails, but
if you put the business hat on, though, you know, it's supply and demand, isn't it? So it's like, well, what's the point of having half the shop, a big shop like J&S or sports bike shop? What's the point of having half the shop as kit for women when that maybe only makes up 5% of their sales?
Right, yeah,
you know, so it's a difficult one, isn't it?
I get that, but you've also got to think about there's a group called Lady Bikers UK, and they are right across the United Kingdom.
There's a few now, isn't there? There's a few ladies groups.
There is.
There's loads, loads of them.
Yeah.
So there is.
It's getting bigger.
It's getting bigger. Is the ladies biking? You know, motorcycling.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like to see. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see ladies get on. You know, down at you know, and do what do they call it? You know, racing, track racing,
track days. Track days
down at Silverstone and that. Silverstone?
You mean British Superbikes? Or
yeah,
something?
Superbikes.
What, women only?
No,
races.
I'd like to see. I'd like not women only. I mean, yeah, why not? Why not women only?
So it'd be one.
It'd be. No, I'd like to see that, and I'd like to see.
There is some at the TT that do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's female racers all over the option. Yeah,
there is.
I kind of think for me, biking's all inclusive. Like I don't care what people look like. I don't care what sex people are. I don't care what religion people have. I don't care. Just if you're a biker,
that's it.
Enjoy riding the bike. And it irks me when you get, well, you don't get any men only track days. You don't get any men only this and men only that. Sometimes it is only men only just because of the very nature of it. But there's loads of women only track days out there and women only events. There's loads of them now. Yeah, shed loads of them now.
There's just not a lot near us.
Is there not?
No.
Right. Yeah, maybe we're spoilt down here then. And I'm on the socials a lot, social media. So, you know, I follow a lot of people like username Kate. Have you heard of username Kate?
No.
She's probably, I would say, the biggest female sort of motorcycle influencer in the UK, I would say, at the moment. And like Kate's great at all this because she's just a biker. She's just a biker, and she's a woman. But you know, she's a big advocate of getting women into biking, and she champions a lot of this and does a lot of events and heads up a lot of events. So she'd be a good one to follow on like Facebook or username or Instagram or something like that, because there are loads now. There are so many female biker like influencer types that are out there.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit. It's just not. It's quite like that up here, is it? For some reason, not a lot. There doesn't seem to be a lot.
She's from up north.
There's getting more.
Where from?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you, but she speaks funny like you guys do.
I'm North Yorkshire and she's West Yorkshire.
Yeah, gotcha, I float between the two. Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one with me. But
I think she's up towards Manchester, that sort of neck of the woods.
Oh, that's way south from us. That's southeast.
She's a southerner, is she?
Definitely southeast.
That's north.
Yeah,
that's not north. That's south.
No, that's southeast. Is that? God almighty. South. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, southwest. I do apologise. Southwest.
Gotcha. Yeah. Right. Next one, Paul Jacques. How you doing, Paul? I do like a good travel story. So does Bruce. My question, was there a time when you thought you'd made a mistake, and how did you push through?
Right.
Many times.
Can I just the time when we were going, what I was telling you that story earlier, when I was behind Liz saying I'm gonna murder you, and I was crying inside of me helmet.
That was the weather.
Like, you know, but yeah, that was I think that was the only time
that when we stopped, she said, whose stupid idea was this to come in?
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
Whose stupid idea? But you can laugh at it now.
We had to have a few of them because I think we was tired. Because we were tired. It's just 9 days well, we had 2 nights. We had 1 day off in that 9 days. So we had like 4 days riding, 4 days riding, the day off in the middle, didn't we? Which it wasn't really a lot, but it seemed a lot because we weren't used to it.
Yeah.
So I think it was the tiredness kind of set in, and then it was. I think we had a few times we were like, God, what we're doing.
So did you not do a lot of riding before you went then? Were you not used to doing a couple of 100 mile a day?
Well, no, we didn't do that many, did we, really? I think we probably didn't prepare for it that way, really, did we?
No, we didn't actually.
But we didn't go. I mean, now I'll probably go to Scotland for the day and do, I think nothing, do a 300-mile round trip to Scotland and back and things like that for the day. But then we didn't really, I don't think we'd really prepared for it that way, did we, when you think about it? We didn't do like long trips out, did we? But it was a completely different bike as well. So
yeah. And that, like I said, it makes a difference when you're doing that every single day. It has like that cumulative effect, physically and mentally. Mentally, you start getting tired, don't you? Because you're concentrating all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in those times then when, like you said there, Tina, you were saying like, whose idea was this then? How do you push through that? How do you guys deal with those situations and get through it?
You have to... you know why you're there. You've got
different ways of handling it, really, haven't you? We handled it differently.
Yeah, we did. I handled it just because...
You used to cry.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a cry.
So you cried a few times.
Yeah.
Crying's good. Let it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just kind of probably just sit quietly, getting the book out, because I'm a big reader, so I'm like, book out
and just bury yourself into a book. I'll just sort of sit down, put my thumb in my mouth and cry for a bit. And then I'm like, I'm back, I'm here, I'm back. It's all right, Liz, I'm all right. And I think also, at one bit, I was really upset, so I think I'm missing Darren, wasn't I? I miss Darren, a little bit, and only that much. He's actually here. He's here. He's at the other side of the camera looking. They all know about you, Darren.
Oh, God, yeah. Patience of a saint, Darren. Patience of a saint.
But I was missing Darren, and but I mean, you pull yourself together, and you've got a job to do. It's like it's like having a job. It's like
you've got to get up next morning and do it again.
You've got to do it,
and then you forget about it as well. You get on and you get enjoying it because it's nice scenery, and
you get to see all this beautiful.
You forget all about it.
You got to remember why you're there, eh?
Yeah, of course you have. Yeah. And a lot of and also you've got to remember a lot of time, effort, money and everything's gone into this.
Absolutely.
So trust me, you soon get motivated.
You can't just throw your teddy out and say that and I'm off home.
Yeah.
You can't do that
like that.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers for that one, Paul. Next one, Kurt Frary. How you doing, Kurt? This does highlight the question again. How do we encourage more? It's another one. How do we encourage more women to get into biking? And then when they are interested, how do we ensure they are not put off? My own wife went for motorcycle training and gave up after sharing it was the worst experience she'd ever had due to the way it was delivered. All male orientated, patronising and chauvinistic.
Not good, is it?
No, she's had a bad start to it.
I wonder if anybody does it. It's like women that do the training, CBT training. There must be somewhere, isn't there?
There must be, yeah.
That it's women teaching women. Mm-hmm. She'd probably feel more confident in doing something like that.
Yeah, because then I think also women have a little bit, such as me, if she were coming out with me, I'd have total sympathy. I could sympathise with her because I know it's not easy. When you get to a certain time in life, and the older you get, everything seems to feel like it's getting harder to take in, you know? I mean, like, you got to think I was quite on when I first went and passed my tests, and Liz was as well. We weren't young. We weren't 18-year-old. So like, and it all seems to be like it feels like it takes longer, but it's same with everything you do. So if you want to take up crochet, it'll take you longer to learn how to do it.
If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
Of course they would. But I'm one of these that
you've got to persevere. I failed my test the first time, and I went home and I said, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it, and I got upset, and I was like, I'd say I'm not doing it anymore. I can't do it again. And
that's what I would.
And my trainer was like, "Come on, you know, you talked me around really."
I would tell you about me.
And again, I'm so glad I did because I passed the second time.
You had a really positive experience then, Liz, with your training side of things.
Yeah,
I think, Kurt, the main thing to take from that is, you know, you just if your wife isn't feeling comfortable and she's not happy with the style of teaching that she's getting, then you need to address that. Speak with the school and say to them, look, this is how we're feeling. And if they're worth their salt, they'll either adapt their style of training or have somebody different that could take over as an instructor.
I think
or you just vote with your feet,
differently, won't they?
go elsewhere. Maybe just contact a school, tell them the situation, tell them your wife, you know, the experience she's had previously, and then go to the school to meet the people, the instructors, and see if you get on.
Maybe have a one-to-one with somebody.
Yeah.
Do it on a one basis.
You know, I went with a guy called Brian Robinson, they called him, and he lives actually in Bedale, where I live now. And, you know, I mean, I didn't live here then. I lived in Northallerton, but I went out one-to-one with him. And he was amazing. I'll tell you what, though, if I did something wrong and we stopped, he would kick my butt from here to the, you know, and back again. But, you know, I mean, he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And I would recommend him to anybody.
I had somebody good as well, and we used to go out one-to-one, and then if I was doing things wrong and that, he'd pull me into a garage, and he'd go off in the garage and he'd come out, and I think, what's he doing? He'd come out and bring me an ice cream, like, calm down, it's an ice cream. So anybody, you know, just like that. So it was.
It's getting the right personality to gel with you, isn't it? Because we don't all get on, do we? And we all handle stress differently, and it's just a question of finding the yin for your yang. Just you know, you've got to find the right person for you.
I mean, ideally with me, is I need somebody. That's why me and Liz got, because I need somebody that takes that. You have to take over me. You have to do that. I'm like a naughty school kid. So like, you have to kick my backside when I do something wrong. Because if you don't, I'll just go and do it again, and I'll do it again. And, you know, that's why it's best for me. It's no good coming up to me and go, oh, Tina, here's an ice cream. You know, because I'll go, sod that, I'm going to do it wrong again. I'll get another ice cream. You know, so, you know, so it's best to just get into me.
Everybody's different, aren't they? You know, the guy that he was like, you know, it's like a nice one-to-one approach, and I think it works for everybody, but it wouldn't work for me. I dropped it once, and it's like, came back, helped me. Like, don't worry about it, just get on. And you know, it's like nothing was a drama, nothing was a problem. You know, it was just really calm and patient. And I think that's what you need.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
You just got to pick the right person. Really, I think that's a tricky bit. If she gets the right tutor, she'll be aware with it.
She will. She will.
Yeah.
But I would encourage her if she's feeling, and I mean, like we've just been saying, haven't we? You know, I mean, you've got to be patient and that. But I think ideally, I would encourage her to maybe look for a female to help her, because you know, females know how it is to feel like they do. So I could respond. I could easily say, you know, I went there, I was there, I did that, and you know what? I still got there in the end. You just got to persevere.
It's a big achievement, isn't it?
It's a massive achievement when you get to our age. Yeah, it's huge. It's the biggest thing that I think, do you know what? I'm going to say something now. I've got to say that the biggest achievement out of passing my tests, both of them, is to pass my bike. without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I did me.
I think it was harder.
I did my car test years ago, but the thing is, my biggest achievement was to pass my bike test, because I have never felt so high in my life.
And you want it really badly.
That sense of freedom, isn't it? It's the unknown that's in front of you. You feel like you've got a golden ticket. Anything can happen now. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's it. You can just do anything. Yeah, you feel like a bit invincible. You can do anything. You can go anywhere. That's it. The world's your oyster, isn't it?
Right. Well, don't give up, Kurt. Speak with your missus.
Keep going, Kirk.
Yeah, keep looking around. Get to speak with lots of different schools till she finds the one that she's comfortable with, and then boom.
Yes,
job
definitely.
Done. Yeah. Right. Louise Worsfold. How you doing, Lou? Evening
Hi,
all.
Louise.
Firstly, Rebecca is wrong. The Pan America is not ugly. Mine is beautiful, especially compared to the GSA. Anyway, a fantastic charity to raise money for. What was the most awkward moment during your trip, and how much mansplaining did you encounter about riding the Harleys?
Well, what's the most awkward encounter? Oh, we had a few of them, really, didn't we?
We did, didn't we?
I think probably the San Diego one was a little bit tricky.
Which was that? Was that with the ladies in the bar?
Yeah, I think that was probably a bit of a tricky one.
Do you want to go into that?
Go on, then. Yeah, go on, Liz.
Yeah,
you tell them.
Yeah, but a few tricky ones.
She really tells it good.
We had a few tricky ones, really.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We have. You know, I could go on. I mean, the chasing us down, with the drug cartel. Oh my God! Yeah, I mean,
it was a bit. Yeah, I think
we had a lot. We had a lot of.
It seems to follow you guys.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what it is. No, it's me. Right, it follows me. Trouble follows. Do you know? There's somebody actually put on Amazon, when they read the book, they went, "That's Tina to a T." So somebody out there knows, because of what me in the book, that they obviously know me. But we've had some great reviews on that book, haven't we? But a lot of people know me through that book. So like I say, they just straight away they're saying, "That's definitely you," and it's because I have this surge of bad luck running through my veins. I thought it was blood, but it isn't. It's called bad luck. And everywhere I go, there's trouble. So poor Liz, she has to put up with it, you see.
Oh, there's loads of tricky things, wasn't there, really, that happened? How can you pick
it's
one?
It's a hard one to pick, is that. It is.
I think The Great Escape was actually quite a good one. The Great Escape at TT.
Oh, that from the TT.
Yeah,
give us some detail on that.
Oh, gosh almighty. That was tricky.
Basically, obviously we decided we'd go to the TT. Tina had got, you got 3 or 4 tickets, hadn't you? You got 3 or 4 tickets. I got mine separately, but she had the people that she was going to go with didn't want to go anymore. So anyway, she put them up for sale, sold them to her friend's wife, and she sold the other one to her friend, who was a male. So there's going to be 3 girls and 1 guy going. And we didn't realise until we got there that they were...
when we say, when you're mates, right, these were mates with benefits, these jokers. I didn't know. Yeah. But I tell you what, right...
They're not still with their respective partners, are they? Right, so it's all out now. Right, okay.
Oh, it's all out now.
Yeah, it's all out now.
But what it was is, when we first got there, obviously when we got there, we'd sent our tent on.
We couriered it out there.
Out.
It was in the office, but we got there just after 10 o'clock when the office was
too
closed.
Late to get it, so we had to sleep in their tent.
So we could see it through the window in the office, but we couldn't have it. So we didn't have
this is the thing, though. They took a tent each, so we thought, we didn't think nothing of it. What we didn't realise is one of the tents were for the gear, and the other tent were for them. But what they did was they said that we could sleep in the other half of the tent.
It was one of those had a bedroom at each end.
Yeah,
but it was quite a small tent, but it was cosy, wasn't it? You get 2 people in, but it was cosy. Yeah. So they were at one end and we were at the other end.
Because I said,
so I put my earplugs in, went to sleep.
So I said to one of them, I said, listen, I said, if we're in there, where are you going to sleep? Oh, I'll get in with him. And I thought, all right, you know, I mean, I've slept with blokes before, you know, different sleeping bags. I'll keep any next to anybody, yeah? That if I'm in my sleeping bag, get down, that's it. Anyway, this one, I had words with her the next morning. Do you want to go into it? Go on, tell him.
Yeah, well, I put earplugs in because obviously you're at a campsite, the Isle of Man, you get a lot of bikes revving up and everything. So earplugs in, off to sleep. And then you have to tell him what happened. Yeah, because in the morning, woke up and she said, do you sleep well? I was like, oh, yeah, it was brilliant. And what did you say then?
So I said, well, I didn't. And she said, didn't you have your earplugs? I went, no. I didn't think I needed them. She went, all right, well, why didn't you sleep then? I said, because them two jokers in other side of the tent have been having sex all night and all I can hear is slapping and slapping about, and it's just been horrendous. You know, I could not.
All night, good effort.
Really bad, honestly. It was bad. Yeah. You'll have to edit that way. Oh my God, it was bad.
This went on
any editing of
this
that.
went on all night. This was an all-night occasion for me. So
wow.
I don't know where they get their energy from.
Love's young dream by the sound of it. Wow, fair play.
Yeah, we got our tent back the next day, so that was fine. We got our own tent.
Yeah, we did, thank God.
And then they were quite lovebirds, really, weren't they? So I was leaving a couple of days earlier.
Yeah.
And then
this is where it comes the great.
And she said, oh, I'm not stopping with these two. I'm coming with you. So we changed their booking on the ferry to the same one as me. So everybody knew that I was going at 5 o'clock in the morning on this ferry, but they thought that she was staying. So what we had to do was we had to pack her stuff on at night, all in the panniers. Secretly. When it was dark and everybody gone to sleep. And then we got a few hours sleep, basically. We got up.
And there was a guy called, just let me put in, there was a guy called Dave.
I don't know.
Dave Barrington or something.
Dave.
Just Dave, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave will do.
Dave. Anyway, and he said he'd bring our tent back. He said, just leave your tent up and I'll.
Because we told him obviously what we're doing. He said, that's fine, I'll pack your tent down. So, yeah, so 5 o'clock in the morning we had to get the bikes. They knew obviously there was going to be one bike started. They didn't know there was going to be two. So there was gravel, so we had to get the bikes over the gravel to make it sound like one bike.
Yeah.
And then start them at the same time to make it sound like one bike was going. So that was, and we had panniers on and it was wet grass. We had to get it over the grass, both of them.
It was hard.
And as soon as we got to the campsite entrance, we started the banks and we're just like, off, quick, get to Douglas to the ferry.
Yeah.
And we made it there, didn't we? And we hadn't been there that long. She rang you up, didn't she?
We were not. We were just setting off. We just got.
Just got to the ferry, haven't we?
We got to the ferry. We got on it, and it was just departing. Was the ferry, and my phone rang, and she's, "Where are you?"
Like, oh,
and
no.
I says, "I'm on the ferry." She went, "Why are you on ferry? How come you didn't wake me up?" I said, "Well, to be fair, I didn't want to stay any longer."
And that was that.
And that was that. And I just put the phone down and I haven't spoke to her since.
Didn't you say something about what am I going to do about my alibi?
Yeah, what am I going to do about you're my alibi? I said, I'm not now, kiddo.
Oh, geez, yeah, that sounds fun. Oh,
yeah. It would tough with that. It were really tough because you don't want that on holiday. You're going for it. You're supposed to be going for a right good ride and watch some racing. And
well, sounds like they had. Yeah.
They had a bit of a ride. Them two jokers, they didn't even get out the tent.
Louise also says, if you could bring back to the UK one of the traffic laws from the US, which would it be?
Oh, that's an hard one. I think, Joe, I've got it.
Did we take it? It's not traffic rules, really. We didn't really know what we're doing. We just kind of went.
Just following.
50 mile. I tell you what. Do you know what? 50 mile an hour. Bring it on.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know why?
No, you don't get my vote.
No, me neither.
You know why? Because I'll tell you what. Because because they're running a bit slower. They're more aware of mind you, then again, having said that, there's a lot more traffic over there, so maybe I'm wrong. They have 5-6 lanes. We only have 3.
Because they're the real Disney
on the interstates, yeah.
that if it was if you
So
like,
it's
if the light
a bit
was on,
hard.
if the light was on red,
Yeah.
you could still turn right or something. Couldn't
Yeah, I
you?
like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them, not all of them, but most of them you can.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the way they did the petrol where you had to pay for it before you filled up.
Oh, I think that's good.
Because
they do that all over Europe.
Yeah, they do now, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
If you, because you don't know how much you want to put in. Then if you haven't put enough in, you have to go back in and add a bit more, and then come back out and put a bit more in. And,
I just chuck in like €40 or €50, just say like that, and then they'll charge you
Round
that, and
it
then
up.
and then if you only spend 28, you get 22 back, don't you? At some point.
Well, we didn't do that, especially when we had to take the car back to the airport. You have to fill it up before you go, and we had to. I think we had to go in twice to get. We did put extra because we had to fill it up. We didn't know how much it was going to take. So that was a bit tricky because you filled it up. You thought you filled it up. You'd gone up to your $20, whatever you'd put in, and then it's not full. We have to go back in again, add some more on, and we did a bit of that.
See, I suppose people are.
Well, we're not used to that.
The cars. Know their cars. They can read by where the petrol is, how much. Probably how much they need to put in.
Well, we're not used to doing that.
We're not used to doing that, so
fill up and then go and pay for it.
But I think that's a great idea. I liked that idea. I did, yeah. I
can see the benefit of it, but I can also see the downside of it as well.
Yeah.
Well, we've got all automatic number plate cameras over here, haven't we? We've got ANPR cameras over here, so as soon as you arrive in the petrol station, they know. They know who's registered to that car, whether that's the driver or not. They don't know, do they? But that's how they do it over here. Anyway, Debbie Clegg. Hey, Liz, Tina and Bruce.
Hi,
question regarding the charity you support. Was there a particular reason you chose to raise funds for breast cancer, if it's okay to ask? We covered that earlier, didn't we?
Sure.
That was your mum.
Yeah,
we've covered that, and it was because of my mum, obviously, and Liz lost her father to cancer.
Yeah, it's all the same thing, isn't it? At the end of the day,
sadly, it's touched so many of us now. I think it's 1 in 2 they say now, isn't it?
I think it's touched everybody somewhere, hasn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I lost my mum to cancer as well many years ago.
It's a horrible disease. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. I don't think you realise how horrible it is until either yourself or someone you hold dear has been affected by it. Yeah. It's a horrible thing to go through. Next question to all. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just saying that we was really lucky that my mum the caught us in time, and as little as she's like 4'10", and and she just said when he said, "Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Gill, but you've got breast cancer," and she went and she stood up, and she just looked at him and she so doctor, what are you going to do about it? He went, "Mrs. Gill, I tell you now, you're gonna survive this," and she did. Because I think it's that as well. You've got to have that positivity, and fight. You've got to have it.
I think the strength of mind has a lot to do with it. I remember my mum fought it for 10 years, and then I remember my mum saying to me at one point, she just looked at me and she said, "I'm so tired. I think I've had enough now." And she passed away literally about 3 months later, I think 2 or 3 months. And it was like the fight had all gone. Yeah, it was like the fight had gone.
It does
and she was just like, "I'm done now."
It does eventually. It really does. Yeah. I mean, the chances that my mum, obviously she had a breast off, and then she had all her lymph nodes out as well because it infected them.
Same, yeah.
But there is quite a chance that it could come back to my mum. They usually when it wakes up, it's quite bad because once it's awoke, it's
quite aggressive, isn't it? Yeah.
It comes back second time more aggressive.
Yeah.
So, but we do keep an eye on her. But at the time that we, at this particular time, it's not actually the cancer that we're worried about with my mum now. It's more heart. So, yeah.
So the drugs and that they give you, I think, probably affect your heart and that, don't they, as well? And they affect other things, don't they?
Yeah. So she's having a few problems down that road now. With she's already had, I think, 3 or 4 mini strokes. So, yeah.
Like we say, you never know, do you? You never know.
No,
You've just got to make the
don't.
most
One
of the
life,
time that
live
we've
it.
got.
One
100%.
life, live it.
Just got to go for it. Yeah.
Debbie also says, next questions to all. Can you remember a summer this bad weather-wise in your lifetime? It's been a weird summer so far, isn't it? I mean, it's 29 degrees out there still right
I
now.
know.
It's
It's
like 38 in my office at the moment. It's insane.
I think it was quite wet last year, wasn't it? I didn't seem to remember getting too much biking last year because it was just seemed to be quite wet.
Last year. Yeah, it just seems to, whenever I go away on tour.
Me. I can't remember what happened yesterday.
Oh, I'm terrible.
I'm really
terrible.
bad.
I've had I played rugby a lot in my younger days, and I've had a lot of concussions. And like in the last 10 years or so, God, my memory's horrendous now. So I really struggle to remember, like, short term, long term. Just
yeah, I know.
way too many bangs on the head.
I know.
Yeah, I think last year. It seems to be every time, everywhere I go on tour, it just seems to rain. It's like, it's not even funny anymore. It's just like, wherever I go on a bike, it'll rain. So, oh well, give it up.
It's last year actually in Scotland as well. And it was actually the only time I think I've been to Scotland and it's not rained.
Wow. When was that?
September, might have been early September.
Wow,
yeah.
Even I'm shocked. Yeah. Wait, September? Wow.
Do you know September is a good time in Scotland?
Genuinely.
So I went to Ireland in June and we were going for 2 weeks and we ended up being there about 9 days and the torrential rains just came and thunderstorms, so we headed back. And then, so we came back early from that, but you can't do anything about that, can you? But yeah, the first time I've been to Scotland, no rain. I was surprised.
Wow.
Plenty of midges though, but no rain.
Oh, I don't
They're
like
horrendous, aren't they?
You know, I don't like. That's the reason why I'm not keen on Scotland, because last time I went, I came back and you couldn't have put a pin where the midges had been. Yeah. They'd eaten me to death, and I just said, I don't like it. I don't want to come in.
Nice thing, but I love Scotland. I'd go there all the time. If the weather was better, I'd just love it. Yeah.
She would live there, wouldn't you? Without doubt.
I love Scotland, yeah.
Every time I take groups up there on tours, it just blows me away every time. I'm just, you forget how good it is. You know, when you're there, you're like, oh my God, this is insane. And then once you've left, you think to yourself, nah, it can't be that good. It can't be as good as I remember.
It is though, yeah.
And then you go back again, you're like, oh my God, it is good.
Yeah,
Jeez. I don't think there's anywhere better in the UK.
No, there isn't, definitely not.
Last one from Debbie. Pickled onion or beef Monster Munch, if you have to make a choice?
Oh, beef Monster. She won't pick beef, she's veggie. It'll have to be pickled onion.
Pickled onion, yeah.
I'll have the Monster Munch, you can have the veg, the pickled onion.
I'm anything but a veggie, but I'd go pickled onion too. Like pickled onion Monster Munch.
I like the Monster Munch.
Onions. I like pickled onions, yeah.
But they're smaller these days. Do you remember, like, I remember as a kid, they were massive. Massive bags, Monster Munch.
I know. No, you've got it wrong. This is how it is. It's because you were smaller, so it looked bigger.
I was this size at like 13. I have been 6'3". Okay, maybe I wasn't 20 stone, but I've been like 17 stone since about the age of 14. I was that size. So like,
well, you must have been if you were playing rugby. They need big lads in rugby, don't they?
Yeah. I was the scrum at school.
Oh well, yeah.
Right, last one. John Powell. Evening all. Questions for the female contingent. I don't know your stories and look forward to hearing them. Prior to the America trip, what were the biggest trips you had undertaken?
TT.
Together, it was just the 2 TT ones we did. Days out as well, but not like...
We had days
trips.
out, but...
That's just the TT trips. We did 2 consecutive years, didn't we?
Yeah.
But had you ever toured Europe or done anything like that beforehand?
No.
Just straight over to the States?
It was just like, boom, let's go. Yeah. Let's do it.
It's the first time we actually toured, I think, on the bike, yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, like I say...
So you got long past your test, and you couldn't go anywhere before that with your old plates on.
Yeah.
And, I don't know why I didn't really go touring, really. I don't think I'd had a bike for that long, really.
No.
Yeah.
We just we got together a really good time in our lives as well, and we kind of bounce off one another as well. So I think we've got a good relationship together, haven't we? I just do as I'm told, and that's it. Yeah. You know, she's the boss, and I just just do as I'm told.
You seem like a good balance between the two of you. You know, you balance each other, sort of not balance each other out, but you know, you're like the yin and yang, basically, aren't you?
We're complete opposites.
We are complete opposites
with a common ground.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I'm a real sort of exhibitionist. You know, I want to get out there. I want everybody. You know what I mean? Whereas this one, she's very quiet. Sits in the background, and it's
I can't get a word in. Really, that's why.
Okay for me to go forward. Yeah.
Although we did go on the radio, Leeds radio last year or something.
She did tell me.
And I had to tell her on live radio to shut up.
Will you shut up? Oh my God, we're live.
Did you have a Barney on live radio?
No, she just wouldn't shut up. I couldn't get a word.
I would got respect.
This poor presenter was trying to ask me questions, and she would put in and answer everything for me. And I said, "Again, you'll take shut up."
Right, last part of John's question. He says, having spoken to women bikers, they can sometimes find the general attitude of motorcyclists a bit blokish and uninviting. What is the best retort you have given or heard to chauvinistic comments?
I could do with a few of them, actually, a few ideas for that myself.
Do you know what? The thing is, my dad always used to tell me, he said, you could go into a stag do and just like drink like a bloke, or tuck your skirt in your knickers and fight like a bloke, or you could go into a girly pub and look all prim and proper. He said you've got I kind of waver between the two, me. Do you know what I mean? So wherever I am, I can skin myself up to be a part of that group. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you adapt accordingly. Yeah,
I'm really very, very adaptable.
We could do with a few.
So it's with me. I don't have that problem. I really don't. As much as when we say where we guys and they say something, I can just be as.
They won't say it again, will they? If you say
no, I can beat them. I'll beat them. You know. And I don't mean with an hammer. I mean just by verbally beating them.
Yeah, you take them on, confront them.
Yeah.
And I think I used to be a landlady of a pub, so that's probably where that comes from. Gotcha. You know, because it's always best to throw landlady in if there's a fight breaking out. They all sort of go, oh, and this one in the middle of the Castleford rugby lads. Back in the, back in the 90s.
The rugby league boys.
If I went in because they were getting a bit rumpus, I'd say, right. And they'd go, whoa, landlady. Oh, my God, landlady. Quick, back off. You know. Yeah.
Is that still as much of a thing, like the chauvinistic attitude towards women in biking? Because the only times I really hear anything not detrimental, what's the word? Like a chauvinistic comment about women in biking, it tends to be from like maybe not even my generation, maybe the one after it. It's older. You know, I'm 47, so it's like it's maybe from that age up. You don't really hear it from the younger crowd. I think the youngsters just seem to be much more accepting now, and it's just. You know, they just seem to be much more accepting and inclusive, I think.
I think probably the older ones, when they started biking, there wouldn't really be many lady bikers.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah, there's not used to seeing them.
This is the thing. We
don't really get derogatory comments. I think it's more like that we think about it like when we're away, and I'm trying to get her going, so we weren't going to be the girls that were going to be last.
Yeah,
it's more like probably come from us really.
Yeah, because you're putting the pressure on yourself.
Because I didn't want them to say, "Oh, here come the women back last again," and all the rest of it. Yeah. So you kind of, I was kind of preempting what they might not have said anything. I don't know, but I was conscious that
Because you were always conscious of it. Yeah.
We're not going to let the side down.
That's not going to happen to us, sort of things.
We don't want to give them an excuse to call us out. Yeah.
Right. That's all the questions over on Patreon. There's one more on Instagram.
Oh, fab.
Have you got time for that?
Yeah, go for it. We're loving it.
Okay, so pop over to Instagram and Chris from King Bespoke Creations. How do, ladies? My question is, what was the most common reaction to two women crossing America on motorbikes, and was it what you expected?
I think we probably got more reactions here when we said to people what we were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very reactive.
And they kind of look at you like,
are you mad?
What? You're doing what?
You seriously?
Yeah. Really? At your age, I think we've got a bit more.
Don't you think you're a bit old for that? I mean,
really?
we're in it. I mean, Liz is just in her 60s and I'm coming up to 60. So and this was back in 2015. So, we're, they couldn't get their head round that we were going all that way. It was just,
I think it was more like
they were shocked. There were a lot of shocked.
The attitude. Yeah. I don't think people thought we would actually do it.
No, they didn't with that, to be fair.
Yeah, especially when we said, we're going to do a book about it.
Yeah.
I think that was the kind of, right, okay, yeah. I just think we're a bit dismissive, really.
Yeah, very dismissive, extremely dismissive. And boy, have they got a shot now, I mean,
well,
there's a few
it's done,
people
and
out
here
there.
it is.
I mean, 6 weeks, let's face it, it took 6 weeks to get a bite on that and, and get a contract. So, that's not bad at all,
I'll
is
tell
it?
you what, you've done well to get a publishing deal, because they are like hen's teeth. I've got my book there and I had to self-publish. There's no publishers taking that one at all. So, you've done well to get someone behind it.
Yeah, 6 weeks it took us from putting it out, and we had, how many did we put out? About 9? 9?
8 or 9, I think.
8 or 9.
But because all the publishers have different criteria of how they want you to send. If you've tried, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some want a synopsis, some want first 50 pages, some might want one chapter, some might want CVs, they might want all different things, and you've got to do it exactly how they want it.
Yeah,
it's got to be word for exactly what they want, and then sent them all off. And we had a couple of inquiries as well after we'd signed that contract. We had a couple more inquiries that came in, but they were just a bit slower that came back. They were just inquiring, they wanted more info, because then they come back and they'll say, ask for more information, ask for the full book or whatever. So we'd already signed with this one because they were quite quick. I'd say it was just a few weeks, maybe 6 weeks.
Literally from start to finish.
Sending it in to signing the contract.
Wow.
And then
it would have been sooner, but there was this one here was biting at she was biting at the bit. Let's sign. And I'm going, no, let's wait.
We should have actually waited a bit longer, because there was a couple more inquiries coming after that were interested.
Yeah.
So obviously we had to say, no, we've already signed. So it would have been nice to see what they would have come up with, in hindsight.
But then you can't look at it like that, can you? You make your decision and that's it. You go with it, and you've got a book at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, they only give you so long to sign as well. They only give the offer's only open on the table for so long, so you can't mess about too long. And obviously,
but we're just
grateful that I'm going to publish it. We're like,
oh my God, it was just it was
exciting.
On a high. Oh my God, it was so exciting.
It just took
must be an awesome feeling to walk into Waterstones and have your book.
Oh, it's there.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And the one in Northallerton, that's on a loop. So when the one goes out, one comes in, it's on a loop. And the girl told me that when you get a book on a loop, it's good. That is good. It's really, really good to have it on a loop.
Awesome.
So
Right. Well, that's all our questions, ladies. I mean, is there anything you want to promote? Is there anything you want to cover that we've not covered?
Well, I would like to invite me and Liz down to go out with you somewhere on the bikes. You can show us around down there. We'll stop for the weekend. I would like to promote that.
Wow. Right, you're on.
Got the-
You don't want to
Have
come
you got
down
the
here.
patience?
Kent is rubbish. Like the roads down here are terrible. There's so
Well, we
much
can go
traffic,
to Wa-
potholes everywhere.
Apparently, Wales is amazing.
Wales is lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of speed limits, but yeah, Wales is lovely. All right,
Yeah.
let's do something then.
We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
But
Right, make
what
it
I'd
happen.
like to do is one more. That's definitely a date for me. Especially, it's a younger man.
Yeah.
I'll bring a tent.
We've still got.
Cut.
Oh my god, yeah, that one blew you with that.
Yeah.
No, but I would like to I'd just like to say about just plugging it again about the Pink Ribbon Foundation. Them are absolutely amazing people.
Yeah.
Lisa is absolutely amazing.
They work really hard to
They
promote
work
it.
so hard to get that money in, and I'll tell you what, they work so hard when they're putting a show on. Oh my God, it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, we went to one. Didn't
We went to,
on a ball, Pink Ribbon Ball in London. One, yeah.
That was
It was really
Well,
good.
I'll get the link.
Can I just tell you this story?
Go on then.
I've got to tell you this.
I don't know what she's going
Are
to
you going to give other
now.
people's secrets away here? Another affair.
So we get some dresses, and you've got yours, and I've got.
yeah.
Anyway, so we went down, and I said, she said, oh, look at me dress, it's all creased. I went, mine is as well, but don't worry, I've got this steamer. So anyway, I brought out this iron, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I said, all you have to do is put the steamer on and just go like that. So she went, right, okay. I said, look, I tell you what, I'll do mine first. So anyway, I did mine and I put an hole in it. She went, no, I'm all right, I'll stick with creases. No, shit.
We had to find needlework pack, didn't we, in the hotel?
We had to go out find it.
We
Yeah.
had to go to the
We
shop
went
to
to the shop trying to find a needle, and for that night, because I couldn't get it. I said to me, and she went, it's all right, I'll stick with my creases.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, God.
Well,
See what I
if you
mean?
give me,
I'm a
if you can give me a
wonder.
link for that pink ribbon, then I'll put that down below. So, folks, make sure if you listen to the podcast, check out the show notes. If you're watching the YouTube vid, have a look at the vid description, and there'll be a link to the pink ribbon if you want to donate or find out more. Ladies, it's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun chatting with
It's
you.
been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I hope we can
Thank you
do
very much
this
for coming
again.
on.
And we've got to get something sorted out about coming down on the bikes.
Right, we're going for a ride.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. We'll spend the weekend down there. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Let's make it
Yeah.
happen. Folks, if you
Yeah.
want to find out more about their trip and their adventure, there it is. It's called Lipstick and Leathers by the Fairy Bikers. It's available on Amazon. It's available in Waterstones as well. Was there somewhere else it was available?
At Smith's online.
Yes, it's
Smiths.
online.
And
Right, I'll put links down below.
eBay.
eBay, I think.
eBay.
Yeah.
eBay as well.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
people that have actually bought it on eBay and they're selling it on eBay.
Yeah, gotcha.
Different
I'll
companies.
put links down below, folks. So if you fancy getting yourself a copy, and parts of the profits of that will go towards the charity as well, and you can find out more about this story.
We've got,
You've got some
Facebook and
socials as well,
Instagram.
don't you? Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, yeah.
Lovely. So I'll put the links to them as well, folks, down below. Make sure you give them a like, a follow, and a subscribe.
Yeah, great, yeah.
Right. Awesome. Been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining me on Friday
Thank you.
night.
Oh, thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Folks, hope you've enjoyed this one.
Person.
Folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. Keep doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Get on out there whenever you can. But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha!
Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Right,
much.
lovely. Let me just stop that then.